Hi there, this is Phil Simborg, USBGF Teaching Pro. As you know, I hope, I am a full time backgammon teacher. I teach several hours a day, almost 7 days a week, and some evenings. Uh, so I am constantly studying different methods of learning and teaching to help my students improve. And I'm going to illustrate one of the major methods right now. A student sent me this position, and he was unclear as to the cube action here. So test yourself. What would you do if you're red? This is a 7 point match. Score is 0-0. It's 7 away, 7 away. If you're red, would you double? And if you're blue, would you take or pass? You can pause the video if you want to take more time. Okay, this is a big pass, and my student thought it was a take. It's a blunder, barely a blunder. 0.08 is considered a blunder to take this cube. So to understand why this is a pass, there's several things you can do. For one thing, you can try to guess why it's a pass. My first guess is blue doesn't have enough timing. I know that ideal timing for a 1-2 back game is about 100 pips, and by that I mean he's not down enough pips to where when he eventually gets the shot, he will still have a good board. His board might crash at 75 because all he has to do is roll one or two high numbers or doubles, and he doesn't have time to hold his board. That's one problem. Let's see if I can test that theory and see if I'm right. Let's give blue much more timing. Let's take a checker from here and put it here. Now his timing is 90. We just improved him from 75 to 90. Quite a big jump. Would this make it a take, do you think? Is that enough? Will that prove my theory? You're going to be surprised to see it's a big take. It's now a blunder to pass. So my premise got tested and proved to be right, that timing is a factor. Let's go back to the original position. Another thing I don't like about this position is blue having the 3 point made. I would feel much better if these checkers were here or here, because again, if blue gets a shot, having a hole in his board or having a lower point is not helpful. So again, right now it's a big pass. Let's make the 4 point. Just move it back to here. How big a difference do you think this would make? Would you think it makes it from a take to a pass, or is it still a pass? What do you think? I think many people would be surprised to see it's now a big take and a blunder to pass. The difference, it's not the 2 pips so much as having the 4 point instead of the 3 point and being able to develop a decent prime on this side. Look what happened. It's still a good sized double, but it's a big, big take. Now let's go back even further. Let's go back to here. Is this better for blue or worse for blue? Do you think people will think it's better to have the 4 point or to have the 7 point? I think most would think the 4 point is better. Usually it is. This is so much better, it's not even a double. The timing is now much better, and his ability to hold a prime is much better. This would be a mistake to even double. That's how sensitive these positions are. Albert Einstein couldn't look at this and figure this out. We can figure it out only by memory, only by bunching these positions together in our mind. So this is a no double, not by a lot, but we went from a no double. Let's go back to the original position, and because we've taken these positions and put them together in our mind in a bunch, we're more likely not only to remember the cube action at these positions, but how these variations change the decisions. Now, if you still don't understand why this is a pass, let's do something else that I think is tremendously helpful. You may not be able to visualize how these games play out. In the old days before we had computers, when I was learning the game, when we wanted to see how a game played out, we'd put it on a position card and write it down, and then we'd set up the board and play it out over and over and over again. And we'd really get a good understanding of the game. By the way, we were probably playing a lot of bad checker plays, and Extreme Gammon doesn't get every checker play and cube action right in these kinds of games either, but it's still the best tool we have and better than any human. So it's still a good indicator. So if you're not really confident that this is a pass, or confident that you understand why you don't win enough to take this cube and why you get gammon too much, of course gammons is a big factor. You do win enough if you didn't care about gammons, it would be okay, but you're losing gammons 31% of the time. That's quite a bit. But you do win 1 out of 3 games. That's very tempting to take cubes like this. And if you played it out 2 or 3 times, you might win every time. It wouldn't be that crazy when you win 1 out of 3 times to win 2 or 3 times in a row. But you will get a feel for why this game doesn't work very well for blue and why it's a pass. And you'll also learn a lot about how to play the checkers. So what I would do is, let's say that blue takes the cube, and now I hit Control C, and it saves this position to my clipboard so I can put it back in anytime I want. And now I'm going to play it out. You can play it out. You can play blue yourself against the computer and see how it plays out. Or you can do one of my favorite things. I go to my settings, I go to options, board configuration, and I slow the game down and slow the speed of the computer as much as possible by going to animations and put them at 100. The higher numbers actually are slower. When you go down to 50 or 60, it moves very fast. I have no idea why Xavier in his wisdom decided to make it the reverse of what normally we would think is slow and fast, but 100 is slow. So I've got it set on slow settings, and I'm going to have the 2 best players in the world play each other and see if I can learn anything by playing it out a few times. I'm not going to play the game out to the end because after a bunch of rolls, there's just way too much noise and variables. I want to see how, and after a first few moves, I can see why this is a pass. So I go to Setup, Play from Position, and I'm going to have Extreme Gammon play Extreme Gammon. The bottom player will be Extreme Gammon, and the level of Extreme Gammon I like to play at the highest level where it isn't rolling it out, so it doesn't take that much time. Professional is a much lower level, so let's play the 2 of the best players in the world playing each other, and let's see what happens. Okay, that didn't surprise me. A pretty normal play there. Blue makes in reward points. Red's going to make his prime. This is pretty straightforward with these rolls. Now we instantly see a timing problem for blue. How is he going to wait for a shot and hold his board? Double 6 was one of his worst rolls that he could have rolled, of course, but I don't have to go any further to see why this is a bad game for blue and why this worked out so bad for blue, because he happened to roll double 6s. Very, very poor winning chances for blue. Let's just see where blue is at by looking at the dice. He only wins about 15% now and gets gammon 35%. Okay, well, you might say, well, double 6s is an unusual thing to happen. That doesn't really tell us a lot. But again, double 6, double 5, double 4 in several rolls is very likely to happen. It isn't that rare. Let's start again. I hit Control V, and let's do it again. I'm going to take away the roll. I want move, I want cube, so that we don't know what the roll is going to be. I don't want a 4-1. I want it to be random. And let's do it again. And by the way, after you do this 3 or 4 times, then you might move these checkers back on the 4 point and just see how much better this game is for blue and what a difference it's going to make later on after blue gets his double shot and maybe hits it. Favored to hit it when he gets a double shot, and he's very favored to get a double shot. The question is, how good's this board going to be? Let's play it out one more time. I think you're getting the idea of what we're looking at, but that was not that interesting a game. The rolls were pretty much forced. I think you'd be surprised at some of the moves that both red and blue would make in this game, especially red. Red will volunteer shots early. He'll slot the back of the prime. He'll tease blue into hitting him with a 6 and try and come off this point here and break this point and leave a shot. It's really fascinating to defend back games. It's actually my favorite kind of game to play. That's why I invented and play a lot of Pasco Gammon, which is a big, deep back game. Okay, let's go. Double 2s. Look at that. He broke the prime immediately. I think many people wouldn't do that. Why? Is that he clears his 8 point. He doesn't have to worry about leaving a shot or a double shot there. Look at that. He didn't hit. Hitting would have improved blue's timing. I think many, many players would have hit there. Now look at this. This is what I told you earlier. He slotted the back of the prime. He's daring blue to hit him. He's forced to play the 5 in now, or he probably would have left that shot, even with blue's strong board. Okay, we're starting to see why the timing wasn't good enough for blue. How's blue going to get a shot and have a good board after he hits the shot? He's already busted his board. Even if red leaves a shot or a double shot and gets hit, he's got very strong winning chances. Will red hit here? Yes, because of the double shot on blue's side, and it brings the game home easier by making that 2 point instead of having that gap. A lot of people might not have done that. Okay, we see why blue has a bad game here. Whoop, here we go. He's got a good shot, he hits it, and he's still going to be a dog in this game. Ha, not so big a dog anymore. Look at this, I like blue now. Okay, it turned around, but that was,
Double.
that's the kind of noise
Drop.
I'm talking about. Became a double drop. Okay, Control V. Let's try it again. And again, that he left a shot, got hit, and danced on a 4 point board where he's a favorite to come in twice, by the way. So these things happen. That's part of the odds and why blue will win a third of the time. Anyway, I think you got the idea. Play it out a bunch of times. You'll learn about checker play. You'll see why this is a pass. Move it to here. Play it out a few times. You probably should see why this is so much better a game. And many people, who, again, who wouldn't have understood can see why this is a tremendously better game for blue, as opposed to making the 4 point. There are more doubles that are or more high rolls he can play before he starts crashing. I hope this was instructive for you. I hope it's giving you an idea of how you can improve your own game and why you need Extreme Gammon. www.extremegammon.com, which offers a 20% discount to USBGF members. So be sure and take advantage of it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.